And welcome to Meet the Polymaker. I am your host, Polymaker Joel. Welcome in, everybody. The green screen's cutting out like crazy. Weird. Fixed automatically. Look at that. We are back yet again. This is live. I promise this time, everybody. If you notice right now, there's I am awesome in chat at the bottom. Type it in. Get your chance to win a spool of filament at the end of the show. So if you are new here, we are a show that just likes to have fun. We like to talk about 3D printing news. We like to share community prints, and then we meet a new maker every single week. I've got another fun one. I've recently printed something really large of this gentleman's model, so it'll be exciting to get to know him a little bit more. But other than that, like I said, if you have not, here's your chance. Type in I am awesome. I'll give you a chance at the end of the show to do the same thing, but now's your time. Get it in there, and we're gonna head right into the news. And first up, we're going to see DHR Engineering. A lot of people have shared this with me for the past several weeks. I've been meaning to put it in the show. I've just had other articles there. A really cool device. The picture doesn't do it justice until you actually really see this thing moving. But what it is, DHR Engineering is a Bulgarian CNC automation company. So then why are you looking at 3D printers rather than CNC machines? Because they use the machines to create parts for jigs, for vices, for custom tooling, for everything they do on their custom CNC side of things. They go through so many parts that they were held back by the speed of the prints, failures of different prints on just older printers. So they, of course, in comes Bamboo Lab printers for consistency, speed, but they took it one step further. It's one thing to have a Bamboo Lab printer. It's another to have 20 plus Bamboo X1Cs, but it's another then to build an automation system that not only does it pull the plates off out of the printer, loads them up on a tray, as you see on that rack there, pulls a blank build sheet off, loads that into the printer, and then starts the next print. So you'll notice on the top section of those printers, all the doors are removed. That's easier for the machine to go in and out. It doesn't require the doors to be closed with the material they're using. But the bottom row does have a door. That machine opens the door, takes the build plate out, puts it up, puts the new build plate in, and then closes the door. It's ridiculous, but it of course speeds up their whole automation of things, of prototyping, the precision of things, and just gets their parts. And this rack is a horrible showcase of what they actually really print. I think this was more for the picture, because just a lot of toys and objects, but they do a lot of custom parts for their CNC stuff, and they needed something to output a whole lot of them, so it must be a pretty large operation. But this thing is on tracks or rail that goes back and forth, up and down, spins around. If you look up DHR Engineering Automation or Bamboo Lab, I'm sure if you search that, it'll pull up. The videos are really cool. I just didn't pull one out for the article. Next up, we're going to talk about a new type of 3D filament. This is not from Polymaker. This is going to be from Repeat. It's a play on words from repeat. It's actually reusing some material, which are date pits or seeds that are from palm trees. Normally, these are discarded. They become agricultural waste, but they're reusing them now, mixed with what was it? Had a weird name with it, an Omani clay and palm fibers, to create, and then of course crushing those pits to create a filament that prints. It almost looks so you'll see the colors here, almost looks like concrete when it prints, but these ones that you see here are fired and glazed, so that's where you're gonna get your color. Other than that, it's more of just a matte gray, but really cool. Yeah, another really cool way of doing 3D filament. It has zero plastics in it. Of course, it's a more sustainable 3D filament, being that you don't need plastic. You just use the waste from palm tree production. But they, I think it was 2022, it was 975,000 tons of date seeds were produced, which are normally, again, just agricultural waste. And they're just left there to sit and rot and do nothing. So why not make a filament out of it? Of course, they're still messing with a lot of things here, but it's just another thing where you can see the ideas churning in everybody's head of what can I take this waste and turn it into, rather than just throwing it to the wayside or making a landfill out of it. So we'll see what the future brings us. Next up, we're going to talk about Ploopy. An odd name, but nonetheless, it is a pretty cool project. Ploopy is actually a company that had I think a year ago, had made 3D printed headphones, kind of like your Hedamames. I've never been able to use them or see them myself to compare them, but they had headphones. But they also, was brought to my attention by Layer, they also make trackball mouses, basically the housing for them. But they also made the internals, the boards, and everything else for them, and then just 3D print the case in whatever color you want, and you're good to go. Now they're doing a trackpad. Of course, what is that good for? You've got your artists, and just anything for precision. And then I found out too, reading this, is that some people use trackpads for games. I get it. I guess the precision of just using a pen across that pad is a lot quicker, maybe more precise, but it can be used for multiple things. Now you can actually 3D print your own. They do sell the kits on Ploopy's website. I just like saying Ploopy. And this is Ploopy's The Ploopy, if that makes any sense. But they do sell kits. They run for about $100 Canadian, and they have a pre-assembled unit for $130 Canadian. So you can buy it. I think they had black, gray, and white were the colors, but why do that when you can print your own? But you can buy the kit from them, and that way you can print your own in whatever color you please. And then next up, we're going to see basically upgrades to police vehicles. So MOSOLF, I don't know if it's an acronym or if it's Mosloff or Mossolf. Either way, it's a Klipheim based company that customizes special vehicles, more precisely police vehicles. They produce about 1,000 customized police vehicles per year, and now they're starting to use SLS printing in the customization of those vehicles. Of course, you see here they kind of have a mount. There's multiple places throughout the vehicle that they can change the aesthetics, mostly the interior from what I could see, but also a lot with mounts. Police, of course, have a lot of tools, weapons, devices. So they have easier ways for those to mount. You can customize it so that way each unit can be set up specifically for the individual, for the partner, or for a group, because some of them are like the van style. So kind of a SWAT time setup. But again, using SLS, I'm using Formlabs printers, working with Formlabs to customize aspects throughout the vehicle. And last but not least, I thought I was less further ahead. Anyway, we have 3D printing. There's a lot of different ways to make things. A 3D printed lathe is something new and not something I would think of, just because the high speed and the pressure and just the weight and centrifugal force, everything involved. But a man by the name of Chris Borg has, for the last 5 years, been creating 3D printed tools, and recently has updated his lathe. This is now, I guess it used to use some studs for kind of brace, but now uses 2020 extrusions for the motor mount. The assembly is eventually, once it's printed everything, of course it does still have some aspects of an actual lathe, the motor, I think the front plate, but eventually the thing is filled with concrete to add the weight and of course the balance of everything to it. And actually everything overall usage, it worked, and it worked pretty well. The only thing that failed the last time for the usage and testing they did was they melted a 3D printed motor pulley, which they then admitted that should have never been 3D printed in the first place. It's a lot of torque and a lot of speed and a lot of heat on a pulley. So luckily nothing flew apart and severed any limbs, though that might make this article that much more interesting. But that is it for the news. We're going to move on to the community highlights. I need to get like some cool little intro things. We'll eventually get there. First up, we have a print by community member Andrew. And as I like to state too, these are all shared on our Show Off Prints channel at discord.polymaker.com. Come join if you're not already there, and share if you have something cool to print. But this is the Lago Thrix 13, created by Agip. It's available in printables. And it uses the skeleton of the dummy 13, and this is basically just adds a remixed armor setup along with some pretty wicked weapons. Just a really cool print. These I couldn't tell quite. I think they're maybe like a 6 to 8 inch figure. Of course, you can scale these up. I did a dummy 13 at 1,000%, and it was pretty awesome. So even cooler if it had a cool armor setup like this. So thank you for that share. Next up, we have a print by Karen Chow Designs. And also the creation is, so these are the faceplates themselves. They're kawaii faceplates for Gen 2 decor drawers. So she did not develop the Gen 2 decor drawers, but she did develop the faceplates to make them customized. So of course, what is the closest holiday we have? It's Halloween. What better than to do, Frankenstein, mummy, vampire, jack-o'-lantern, not pumpkin. So just a really cool print. So thank you very much for sharing, Karen. Karen. That's wasn't even attempted. Anyway, Span Magoo has printed the next one, and this one I had to message him on. So this is a Forbidden Fruit, modeled by Billy Hooper. It's available on Things. And this is two different, well, actually, I think it's three different colors of filament. The core, the red, and the stem. In this picture, it's hard to tell, I'm sure, on screen, but it has like a little sparkle to it. It's not Polymaker, it is Bamboo Sparkle Red, but it just was I had to ask him if it was painted. I didn't know if he just slapped some paint on it or if it was 3D painted. And yeah, that's all filament. There is no paint in this picture. So just, I thought a really cool picture, and not picture, but yes, picture and model, and just the print came out awesome. Oh, I just got it. Sorry, I got sidetracked with a message. Anyway, next print is done by Off Axis. This is another variation of the Dummy 13 by Sousaphone. And this is he actually had a couple different accessories. He had the peace sign hand, he's got the coffee mug in the hand, he's got the Iron Giant head, and he's got Crocs. So he kind of went all out with this one, doing the different accessories. That blue and orange reminds me of the different race cars. The GT40 Ford did some stuff like that. Really cool scheme, but just another print that came out really awesome. And like I said, I'm a huge fan of the Dummy 13. Next up, we have Tin Talon, who printed the Halloween House by Skipper. This is available on Things. And again, just a Halloween theme and a really good print. And I think especially the colors that pop with that black roof and everything, the contrast, good choice overall in the colors. So just a cool share. But we're going to have one more. Normally I have 5 prints. The next one I was going to do is just an extra print and actually have the picture. But the picture wouldn't do it justice. Just because you need to get the scale of how big the next print is, or should I say prints. So I don't think it should mute me. I'm going to go ahead and play a video, and I want to talk over because there's no audio. So this is a print by Traxman, or more specifically Traxman 25. It is the Wolf Pounce, Wolf Snarl 1, Wolf Snarl 2, all designed by Printed Encounter, and that is available on printables. But he scaled his up, and he added some lights, and he added some scars, and he added a lot of stuff. These are huge. If you're at Rocky Mountain earlier this year, he did have one there on display. Since then, he's printed 2 more. Oh, it cut off already. I was hoping it'd be a little longer, but I wanted the video to show just how big those things are. Amazing prints. They're printed out of Pet G. He puts them out every Halloween outside. They, survive the elements. Just going to show you can, and he does that on an Ender 5 Plus. And he cuts every single piece up to fit. And it takes some time to do so, but it ends up with an awesome result in the end. And he assembles everything together, and even without being bondoed or painted over or smoothed out, it looks absolutely amazing. So I wanted to share that more in a video format so you can see a full screen how big those things were. Let's see here now. If Polymaker chooses to release another pre-recorded episode, there will likely be this isn't pre-recorded. I'm reading you, Joe Lambic. And he just said nice with a fox head, just so nobody thinks that I'm fooling everybody. Nate's semi-pro, crazy good looking. Yeah, so this is live. I am awesome in giveaway. We'll go about that on the end there. But with that said, we still need to meet our maker. That is the most exciting point of the show. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a commercial break, and it's gonna be kind of commercials you know and love. And there's one to start it off with. One of my favorite modelers, Fulv, does amazing buildings. I'm just giving you this information now because I can't talk over the next video. But this is his latest creation. Anybody can print this. You can print it on Ender 3. You don't need an AMS. You can do it layer by layer, layer swaps. Awesome model. If you're looking for something for Christmas, whether to gift to somebody or to showcase at home, this is the print to choose. So take a look, and we're going to go commercial break, check this model out, and then the commercials, and I'll be right back after those.
Imagine owning some of the best songs about 3D printing this Discord has to offer. Polymaker presents 3D Printing Hits by Silverback and Little D, the best renditions of some of the greatest hits of all time. Hits like Hallelujah, Polly Smooth Criminal, All That She Wants Is Another Printer, Print Away,
There you go, print away.
Still the TD1, All About That Bag, No Stabbies, and Polyman.
It's a file tonight. We're all in the mood to see it extrude, 'cause you've got your printer tuned right.
Reserve your CD today with a special TV offer by going to polymaker.com and paying $39.99. Have your credit card ready. Seriously though, this music was a joke. Go buy some Polymaker.
This is Polymax PLA, the toughest PLA in the world, and today we're gonna put that to the test. I printed this very mechanical model and we're gonna drop it from the 12th floor. You heard me well, the 12th floor. Let's go! Ready for the first drop in 3, 2, 1. Whoa, that's crazy! Not even a scratch! Let's go and check it closer. Not even a single scratch. I dropped it again from the 12th floor and still not a single scratch. Buy your Polymax PLA right now!
Performance may vary depending on usage, individual factors, and external conditions. Individual result may vary, not a guarantee of specific outcome. Consult your professional before use. See website for details and limitations. Use responsibly.
Have you had bad customer service with your filament provider? Have you ever gotten a bad spool and never got a response when you emailed the company? Well, that won't ever happen when you reach out to Polymaker. Some people say that no company cares about you. Wrong. 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 If you never got a response after emailing a company that you've worked with in the past, you may be entitled to better customer service. We at Polymaker pride ourselves on good customer service, and we won't ever keep you waiting for a response. Email us now at support@polymaker.com and we'll get back to you within 1 business day. We'll fight for you.
There we go. That was smart on my part. Okay, so welcome everybody. That there was no audio on. We're here to meet our next maker, Sousaphone, also known as Gabe. Welcome in, Gabe. Can you hear me, Gabe? Uh-oh, I don't have Gabe. Oh, well. Can you guys? Nope, it's not picking it up either. Are you muted on your side? This worked prior to show, I promise everybody. Pro streamer, yes, thanks, Pezliz. I muted because I was over the commercial last time. It's not picking you up here. Let me try so I can bring you back on here. Might have to rejoin. I'm going to disconnect here. Give it just a second here. You want to prevent this guy? Don't regenerate the link. Go ahead and click the link again. It's probably going to push you out. There we go. There's always something technical. See, this is why pre-record is so much easier. I can make sure that it just works. We actually, Peekaboo, we made that joke earlier because something's messed up to where he can't see me. So he's like, as long as you don't do sign language, I can, we can communicate still. But then of course the audio doesn't work again. Like what the heck? I promise it was 100% working. Waiting for him to join back in here. Just a minute. But how's everybody doing tonight? Thank you all for coming. Let's try to bring him into the show again here. Show on stream. Hello, hello.
Hello, how we doing?
There we go. Yep. Now we're good.
All right. That's good. I had my Oi. Hang on.
The cat just wants to be part of it.
You know, I had my tech support consultant who made it better and then made it worse.
There you go. Yep. No, that's what they do. They're sweet then sour, right?
Yeah, so she'll be in and out, making sure that everything runs, well, not smoothly, but
making a cameo.
everything runs.
So welcome into the show. Thank you for coming on. Can you tell everybody who might not know you, whether by Gabe or Sousaphone, who you are and what do you do?
Yeah, so my name is Gabe. I go by Sousaphone online for some reason. And if that sounds familiar, you've probably seen one of these before.
Yep.
So I run Lucky 13 Toys with me, myself, and I. So I design 3D printable action figures, most famously Dummy 13, but also Lucky 13, Mini 13, Easy 13, and a couple of other fun guys along the way.
Awesome. So now, was the modeling part of something you've always been part of, or let's go back to the past, or was it 3D printing led to modeling, or vice versa?
Yeah, so I think I've been basically modeling for as long as I've been printing. So I got into printing when basically right out of college. So I got my first big boy job, and I was like, well, I've always liked mechanical stuff. I probably like 3D printing. So I asked Santa Claus for a 3D printer. And
you weren't
Santa
on the
Claus,
naughty list, obviously.
Yeah, no. He made an exception for me.
There you go.
But yeah, so I got my Monoprice Select Mini V2 or whatever it was in winter of 2016. But yeah, so that first big boy job was as a mechanical engineer. So I was doing CAD for my job, and I had the printer at home, and I was like, I went up to my manager and I was like, I gotta learn this CAD program anyway. Maybe I just take my computer home and I design some stuff for 3D printing. He's like, yeah, sure, go learn the program.
Awesome.
So yeah, I've been modeling for as long as I've been printing, give or take. But Lucky 13 and the action figure modeling, that came along later. That's been like the past 2.5 years. But yeah.
So now when you first started developing models in CAD, was there functional things, or were you just kind of messing with anything and everything? Was there something specific that you focused on when you were first modeling and printing?
Yeah, I mean, work was work. At home, it was like, that winter, like my sister had just gotten into chess, so I printed her a chess set. And then like, really just like random stuff I was interested in. random hangers for stuff around the house, which is like all of what I do now anyway. Um, yeah, so a little bit of A, a little bit of B. And then it was really like when I actually quit that job, or actually quit the job I got after that job, that's when I was like, I gotta go make an action figure.
Now, was that for just the fact that there really wasn't anything out there, and you're like, I want something, or was it kind of an idea was there, just kind of finally got some time to do it?
Yeah, I mean, kind of all of that. So, I mean, there was stuff out there. So there was the Modibot, which I think was like connected to Shapeways, which is rest in peace. There was some other like people had done them before, but I was like, I'm gonna go make mine. And it was like I was very unemployed because I had quit my job, cold turkey. I was like, I'm out. I'm done.
I'm done.
So like, on like week 4 of lying on the couch, I just got bit by this bug, and the bug like injected something into my brain that was like, go design a jointed figure. You can do this. You know how it works. You have the background. And it was literally like that week was like, I was working 16-hour days on this just passion project. So that was the original Lucky
Poured your heart
13.
and soul into it then, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. So people ask like, why is it Lucky 13 Toys? If you go back through my Reddit history, I have like a picture of, I was doing this all in Blender, which is insane for like a precision CAD project. But I was iterate. So I had version 1, and I put a little 1 on the figure that I printed out, and then I had version 2, version 3, and then it took 13 to get to what I was satisfied with.
There you
so
go.
I called it Lucky 13. And like looking back, I'm not satisfied with that, but I mean it's the original.
But at
it's,
least it has a
the
story
first one.
behind it.
Exactly. Like I'm never gonna take it down or anything, because it's what got me where I am right now.
Oh yeah, and it wouldn't be nearly as cool to be like, well, why Lucky 13? Well, because I like being lucky, and the 13, number 13 is just cool. You actually have a little bit more background to it, so it adds something.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
and like, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, now with the Lucky 13 toys, of course, you got Dummy 13. Now, what started all that? Like, what toys did you make to kind of make a catalog of?
Yeah, so I think what I had always envisioned is a platform, right? So like when I was like in my fever dream coming up with Lucky 13, it was like, it's going to have a skeleton, and it's going to have, you're going to be able to build on top of it, and it's going to have accessories. So I always wanted to have like a platform. Like I provide this skeleton, and then it can become something more, just based on what people do with it.
Yeah.
So that was like kind of my guiding light. And then so I don't have a Lucky 13 on my desk, but I have a Mini 13, which is like my next step up, and like that's even more like, it's intended to be very modular, like things snap on, snap off. Because like as a kid, I always loved Legos. That should probably surprise no one.
No one.
Yeah. I loved Legos. I love Transformers. I love anything that like is like mechanical but also creative, right? Like it's like you have a system, and your job is to see what you can do within that system. So like that, yeah, that's like, so the 13 series is basically, I provide a system and I say, go do something with this, remix it, and people have really run with that. Like there's some amazing remixes that people have done. I'm like, oh geez, what am I even doing? Like if you can do that.
No, this is just plain like everybody's just doing crazy stuff.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, that's the 13 series, and then like beyond that, there's like kind of some one-off stuff. Like I did like a Dragonfly for when Printables did like a Voronoi pattern contest. I did a spider for last Halloween. I got something cooked up for this Halloween that I can maybe show a little bit later.
Okay, awesome.
So it's like I came up with this system, and now I'm applying this system to stuff that I want to make.
What you create. Now, did you? Of course, you created the Dummy 13 because it was something that you thought was kind of awesome and cool. Did you ever think, hey, this is going to be kind of such a huge thing? I mean, obviously, you probably thought maybe some people would download it, but did you think it would become as popular as it is, and see all the remixes that there would be?
Absolutely not. I mean, so Lucky 13 had some good popularity, right? I got lucky with Lucky, because people did respond to it. People like Mini 13, people like Easy 13. So I was like, okay, well, next step up, here's this one. But boy, did Dummy take off. And I think, I don't know what to attribute that to. I'm glad it did happen. But if I had to guess, it's because it is like, it kind of feels like a bit more of a complete product. Like, Mini and the other ones, they're kind of boxy. Like I think they're very charming in their boxiness.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
But when you get Dummy, like it kind of feels like, okay, this is a product. This is like a finished product.
It's more humanoid in the shape and everything. And then
exactly.
Do you think the name itself kind of maybe had a play on it too? Just people were like, wait, Dummy 13?
Yeah, I mean it's if I like right because I did it in orange and like it's a crash test dummy, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I think I don't know what to attribute it to. But again, I'm very glad that it did happen, and I'm super glad that people have resonated with it, or it has resonated with people. And like it makes me so happy when I see people being like, oh, here's all my remixes, or like I printed one for every kid in my third graders class, and now she's the most popular girl in school.
Yeah.
I love all that stuff. I'm so happy that it's like so accessible to everyone. So I mean, what can I say? It's awesome.
And it's fun to print. Like I printed the just a standard size one. I don't even know how long ago. And then, like I said, I've always had the desire to make a big one, and I talked about it, and procrastinated like most of us do. And then finally, for 3D Printopia, I'm like, you know what? That's my goal. Let's get one done. And at 1,000% on just a bamboo, it worked out perfect. And some of the tensions I had to kind of mess with, but it's such a fun print, and especially see it at, in a large size. And if you balance it just right, he could stand on his own. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I can show, because I had never done one above like 200%, which is like, I don't know, people are doing all these like, again, like people are doing crazy stuff with it, and I'm just like, I don't know, I made the first one, you guys take it from there.
Yeah.
But I am working on life size 1300. So we're working on a version that it's got screws in it. I don't usually like using hardware, but to keep
Without
something
weight.
standing, at the size of a human person, I compromised. I put some M6 screws, M6 inserts in there. So this arm is all that's printed. It's all that's modeled. But eventually
it's being modeled specifically to print large.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm taking my existing files, and basically you can see where I'm like splitting all of the joints so that it has like a clamshell, and then you can screw into
okay,
and put tension on the clamshell. So my goal is a life size one that can actually stand on its own 2 feet and maybe actually do like some interesting posing without being draped over a chair.
Yeah, that's what I noticed when I did the testing of mine, is with the skeleton overall, like once I kind of messed with them and shrunk some different parts, I could get the tension. The skeleton could pose in most positions. It could stand on its own, all that, but as soon as you start adding that armor on there and the head and everything else, then that's when the arms start getting a little bit too heavy. And I can get a position just right where you get it balancing and stand, but somebody just come over and shove him and just topple over, his waist would usually go. So no, I will definitely be downloading the new one when it becomes available.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about that. Yeah, I mean, you and I talked at 3D Printopia a couple of weekends ago, And I was basically like on the dummy hunt there. I was like going around to booths and I'd be like, I made that. I made that. Your booth, Polymaker's booth had the biggest one. I think there was
There we
like
go.
an
We're the winners.
800%. Yeah, you guys were the winners. Um, I think the closest was like maybe an 800. I signed one person's. I wish I could remember who they were. Um, but yeah, a lot of people had the remix that, again, I wish I could remember who made the remix, but somebody remixed the joints so that they're still printable, but they have like a cutout that makes it
A
more
channel.
compliant.
Yep. Yeah,
I'm sorry?
when they're it has like that void around the clamp. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
The larger
yeah,
one, so that way it
exactly.
flexes a little. Yep.
Hmm. Yeah, so I mean, again, I'm gonna keep saying this. Like, I love the remixes. I love what people do with this because, like, I don't know. I provided the base, but everyone's taking it in like all these great new directions. So
Now, was
I'm really happy
3D
about that.
Printopia the first time that you actually seen one of your prints in person that wasn't printed by yourself or a friend?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I'm like just getting into like being a brand and going to events and stuff. Like I've been just kind of tippy tapping away on my computer and releasing my stuff. So that was like my first foray into the like larger 3D printing community, and it was such a great time. I'm so glad I went there. I want to go to like every event now.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that
It's a
was like my
bug.
first time seeing one that was printed by someone else, and I was like, oh my son, there he is.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's a great feeling. Like, wait, I modeled that, and now like this person, I have no idea who they are. They just printed it, as in, enjoyed it enough to not just print it, but to bring it to show off. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
only imagine. That's why I was super excited because, of course, I didn't know that you were going to be there. So, the print was a whole idea.
I didn't
well
either.
prior.
I didn't know I was gonna be
And
there either.
then I can't remember. I don't know if it was Pezles or somebody had let me know, like, hey, they're going to be here tomorrow, because I think it was we were setting up on Friday. I'm like,
Mhm.
really? Like, oh, I so hope that I run in, because of course nobody knew what you looked like, so I didn't know who to look for. Like, okay, is he going to be wearing a Dummy 13 shirt, or what's going to be the deal here?
I know. I was very stealth. I had like a one dummy 13 like stuffed into my flannel pocket. And I was clearly I need to broadcast it more next time because I would get like 5 minutes into talking with someone. I was like, well, anyway, by the way, I made that. And then
Like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly. The tone completely shifts. So I was being a little stealthy. But sometimes
Well, you
that's
probably
a
also
lot, too.
avoided some like 2-hour conversations, because I
Mhm.
know some people, as soon as they find out who you are, they'd be like, I want to ask a million questions and everything else. But no, I
Oh, sure. I
definitely
mean, I
enjoyed
probably would have
meeting you there.
Yeah, I probably would have enjoyed that 2 hour conversation as well. But there's only so many 2 hours you can put into a day.
Yep. Oh yeah. That's what I always say with those. I love talking with people, but there's never enough time. Even if on the long conversations are still never long enough. But
Yeah,
but now
exactly.
with the W13, of course, there's all the remixes.
Mhm.
And one that one I was debating on printing, try to print it in time. I didn't. Did you do the dog, or was that a remix?
That was a remix.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I think that's the most common request is like, can you do a dog? Can you make a dog? And like
I don't have
somebody
to
made
now.
one. Like I could, but somebody did. Like again, I'm glad I gave them the bump to do it, but like somebody did it. So
Yep.
um, yeah. So and like I haven't printed that one, but I have seen it, and it looks great. It fits the aesthetic, which is very cool.
Oh yeah.
So super cool to see stuff like that.
Have you seen any other like crazy iterations rather than just head changes or armor changes? Like any other, whether it be an accessory or a big change up that you've liked?
Yeah, so I mean, there's people are doing stuff all the time. There's a handful of makers who have really run with it. Yeah, I guess I can like shout out some people. Like I think the first one to do it was a user called Dr. Operator. And he started with Lucky 13, and then I put out Mini 13, and he started working on that. But he's made like, I don't know, 20, 30, 50 different remixes of Mini 13 into different characters, and they're like a full rework. Everything's really well done. He takes great photos. So like that's like the exact thing that I had in mind when I was designing these. Is like, yeah, this is a platform
It's
for you to do.
customizable.
your own thing. Yeah, exactly. And then you actually spotlighted earlier another user who's done a lot of remixes. It's like I think he changed his name to a.gip or something.
Yeah,
Andrew on other platforms. Yeah, he's like he's really gone in the direction that I saw Dummy going, which is like these like sci-fi armors and like cool weapons. And like that's so cool. Like that's exactly what I was thinking. Is like, yeah, like again,
just
love
build it
Legos,
how you
love
want.
Bionicle. I love Transformers. All of this stuff is like, yeah, sci-fi cool stuff. So and like he's put out 5-10 different like unique OCs basically based on the dummy frame, and that's super cool.
Well, and that's what's cool too, is that it is, and not to downplay it by any means, but it's such a simple base, especially the skeleton itself, that even for somebody that's not a huge into modeling, it's not a super complex thing. And just pretty much making sleeves for the most part for the skeleton. So
Exactly.
I think that's
yeah.
one thing is awesome, that it just makes it easy to customize for. But then of course with 3D printing, the multicolors and everything else, it opens up the door to, like you said, is Dummy 13 can now be unlimited characters. There's really no stopping it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I want to shout out one more creator who's done remixes.
Absolutely.
On printables, his name is Mici, maybe it's Michi, Mici, but he's done a lot of other dummy remixes. And like his I love because like some of them are like he does like a series that's like Dummy 13 goes to Comic-Con. So it's like different cosplays basically for Dummy 13, like different superheroes and stuff. And then he did one that was like a DJ or something who I had never heard of, but I was like, that's awesome. Like you basically made fan art of an artist that you like, and I provided a platform for that. So like it's like so cool to like, I never would have thought of this, but this person did, and then he used something that I made to accomplish that.
So that's something like I've talked with too. Is I think it was Wexter when I had him on the show. Is some of the characters, he's limited to not having all the full features because the design that he goes with his little mini dudes is there's little features that they don't have to be 3D, like a big nose or this or that. There's just certain things, and that's what I've seen on a handful, which I should have made a list of some of the remixes where you might not know right off, but as you're looking at it, you can see like subtle cues in the design, like, okay, oh, that's what this is supposed to be, especially if it's not printed in the right color. See, like Deadpool's obvious, Wolverine's obvious, but yeah, they're just some of them. Like I said, you pretty much create them to be anybody you want. I took our scientist model, our little test display model, and I cut the head off the model, made the void in it just to put on the R's, and it worked. Of course, slap a Polymaker logo on it and go total Polymaker shill, and what you got, a 4.5 foot, I think it was an 18-pound Dummy 13. Yeah, no, just it's a fun platform, and definitely can't wait to see where it goes. I like I said, I for sure will be downloading the large one you're doing now. You said that one's a 1300%.
Yeah, 1300. Like for some reason, Dummy 13 worked out to be basically 1/13th scale. Which, I mean, nice coincidence. I didn't aim for that. It's just kind of the size that it ended up. So yeah, 1300. It's going to be Dummy 1300 basically, and it's going to be like 5'9".
Now, will that be printable on like a bamboo, or do you need like a 300 millimeter or bigger build plate?
So I am, I should say, Prusa was kind enough to set me up with a 5-tool Prusa XL. So that is my target for the build volume. I'd like to market it a little bit, pay it back a little bit, and be like, well,
absolutely,
go get a Prusa. But there are plenty of tools in slicers to cut apart in half and put a dovetail joint. So I would say putting it up on an X1, anything with like, I don't know, at least 200 millimeters cubed, you'll be able to find a way. But I might not hold your hand to do that slicing. I'm gonna try and sell
that'll
XL
get you 800 emails a day with just headache after headache. So
yeah.
Now, do you have a rough ETA of when that one will be released, or is it kind of just working on it as you can, and it'll be out when it's out?
Yeah, I mean, everything right now is working on it when I can. Like this is all a side job. I have a day job that I got to take care of. I got life. You know, it's the end of the year, so obviously there's plenty to be done. It's so and so Big Dummy is bottlenecked by a modeling it, which doesn't take super long because I kind of figured out what I want to do with every joint, and it's just kind of applying that process. And then it's bottlenecked by actually printing it, because I want to test print everything that I release before it goes out.
Absolutely,
I am so meticulous. You know, I iterate. I don't want to leave anything uncertain. So
especially at that
yeah,
scale and that amount of filament. Yeah, you get some really
yeah,
ticked
like,
off customers
I
when they
don't,
have have some failures.
yeah, I don't want someone to go out and buy 15 kilograms of filament and 60 M6 screws, and then be like, oh, by the way, I made this wrong, so you got to reprint everything. Like it's got to be good. It's got to be, it's got to be right.
Yep, absolutely. So now you did hint at something that you're possibly making for Halloween. Did you want to iterate on that, or is that kind of a surprise that's coming?
No, I've got a few things here that I can preview. And
These I would imagine coming out soon.
Soon TM,
Ish.
so soonish. Soon is a relative term.
Most people have bamboo, so even if you release it a day before Halloween, they got time to print.
Yeah, exactly. So well, yeah, what I have coming out for Halloween is definitely soon, pre Halloween. What I have coming out beyond that is soon TM. But let's look at Halloween first. So last Halloween, for Printables Halloween contest, makers love Halloween. It's like the most fun thing to make stuff for. So last year, I held this up before. Last year I put out this spider, which this was basically the first non-13 model I put out that has, it's got all the individual joints and definitely played to my strengths here.
That
so
green looks
year,
nice. The green looks like it's LEDs, at least on camera it does.
Actually, do I have? Well, if I could find my UV light, this would be glow in the dark.
Glow in the dark, okay. Yep.
let's not get too bogged down in that. So that was last year, and then continuing the spooky theme. This year we're doing skeletons. We're getting spooky scary.
There you go. Yep.
This is a 200%. This is a 100%.
Sure.
It's about on scale with a mini.
With the mini 13, yep.
I'm so good at framing stuff on the camera, but roughly in scale.
Everything's backwards and mirrored and everything else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm like, hey, let me throw together a little skeleton. I'll hold up this one because it shows better on camera. So
that's
yeah,
got all the same articulation as the Dummy 13.
Yeah, very very similar. I compromised a little bit. I gave it. We don't have any double jointed legs, so sorry, you're gonna have to live with 60 degrees there. But most of the must-haves for articulation are in this. I'll actually show you. One thing that I make sure to include in any like humanoid model. I learned this when I was like researching for the first ever Lucky 13. Artists think of your arm as having 3 segments. So you have your forearm, you have your upper arm, and then you have a shoulder girdle. Sorry, I'm probably away from the mic. You have your forearm, you have your upper arm, and you have a shoulder girdle, and that's basically a third segment to your arm. So even when I go down to like Mini 13, they have these articulating shoulders because that really opens up so much more expressive posing. So I made sure to put that on the skeleton, and then you got a nice
all
arm.
the fun poses, yeah.
Yeah, you got a hand that I try and keep the hands the same for all my models so that they can all hold each other's accessories, because that's the other place people really love to remix is all the different handhelds and stuff. And then you got an actual more realistic femur joint. So yeah, you can
No, it looks good.
do all kinds of crazy crazy poses. I think people will like it. I hope people will like it. I'm just putting a bow on this right now. I want to put it out with like a couple of accessories and be like, build your skeleton army. So
And I'm
I
sure
think
an
people are
easy
gonna
print
like
then
that.
too, right? You know, it's just got pretty much just the skeleton instead of armor and everything else. Everything's all snapped
Yeah,
together and it's finished.
yeah, one color, one snap together. Um, should be a fun little model, I think.
Yep. You said that one, and that'll you release most of them on printables, right? You have Maker
Yeah,
World
right
also.
now, yeah, right now all of my stuff is on printables and Maker World. Um, all my free stuff is on both of those. Um, you can actually find Sousaphone on Thingiverse, and that is also me. And those are old models that I never bothered to port to anything new. So if you want a display stand for Gundam models, you can go get that.
There you go. Got to start
I
somewhere,
don't know
right?
why I've never really brought them over, but so yeah, all my stuff is on printables and Maker World, all the Lucky 13 things at least. And then if you want to go on printables and either join my club or check in the store, I do sell the design files for all the 13 series models. So if you want to have a leg up on making remixes, or if you just want to go through and like criticize my life choices and how I modeled things, you can do that as well.
There you go. Now, real quick move to see if anybody's got any questions in chat. So we I'll do a couple minutes, running close, but we can speed through this. So if anybody's got a question for Gabe, let us know. And then we'll, from there, we'll move to the rapid fire questions. And then I guess I'll let you out of here. But let's see here. We got Ben over on YouTube. Big fan. Biggest he's going is 425%. But I added an old iPod Touch so I can FaceTime my friends and feel like they're hanging out in my office. Why not, Ben?
That's great.
Gonna be the next AI, huh? Which if you didn't catch it, our stage presentation at 3D Printopia, I did a short form of Meet the Polymaker, and my guest was none other than Dummy 13. And AI,
so
AI
proud
Dummy
looking up on
13.
stage.
What's that?
I was so proud looking up on the stage. He was up there.
Oh yeah, and then Nick definitely had fun voicing the AI. And the microphone, between Nick's accent and the microphone, it was hard as heck to understand half of what he was saying. So just like, okay, that's cool. Yep.
Yeah, there was also like a drag race and a combat arena.
Oh yeah, the
100 feet away from the stage. So
let's see.
interesting.
Let's see. I am a fan of Delicious Flavor on Twitch. Here it says, can Dummy 13 be scaled down? I'm building a miniature theater, and it would be so cool to add Dummy 13 to the actors. Oh, he's doing the full theater.
Yeah. So it can. The smallest I've done with like a stock printer with a 0.4 nozzle is 75%. That was kind of cutting it close. I think if you had a 0.2 or a 0.25 nozzle and you had really good bed adhesion or you use the parts on runners, you could probably get down to 50%. I actually back in the day I like did a 50% print with a 0.2 nozzle, and then I had to do everything with the brim, and I got so tired of taking the brim off that I gave up.
Shave it off.
Yeah,
so that small too, because you had to be careful.
Exactly. Now that there's the 1.0 release that has runners holding everything together, you could probably get away with printing that with the 0.2, and it would be less hellacious to take the supports off of it. So, long story short, get a 0.25 nozzle, you could probably go down to 50%.
There you go. Then let's see. Nate Semi-Pro says, are you going to be making more animals? So I know we talked. You didn't make the dog, but are you looking to do any animals to add to the family?
I have a million ideas. I definitely do. Even though I said that the dog remix, which was by a user I think called T Clear, he did a great job, or they did a great job. I don't know their gender. They did a great job with that. I'd still like to do my own little thing. Maybe make a cat. Maybe make a dragon. Maybe make any number of things. Right? Like I have all these ideas rolling around my head. I got 24 hours in a day, and some of them I have to sleep. So
Unfortunately, real life sucks and gets in the way.
Yeah,
Fun
exactly.
stuff.
So I promise nothing, but I definitely want to.
Got some ideas. Let's see. And then
Yeah.
I guess somebody asked earlier, do you have any secret projects in the works?
Yeah, so I can preview a few things that are coming up. Number one, I want to do a little bit of tutorial stuff because like I have this platform that people can remix, but I'd kind of like to show people like how the nitty gritty engineering works and like how to model this stuff on your own. So I'm kind of developing this model, which I wish I could focus. There we go. I'm developing this model and a few others that basically have like every type of joint that I use.
Okay.
So you have a ball joint, you have a revolute joint, a rotating joint of different types. You have different ways things snap into each other. So I kind of designed like a showpiece for that. So I want to take this. I'll release this model as well, but I want to like make it the focus of a tutorial series where I actually kind of show what goes into engineering something like this, and help people make their own models in addition to building on the platform. So that's one, and then I can show something else that's in the works. So
And now that guys asked them, none of these are secret projects anymore. Good
yeah,
job.
exactly. They're out. The clock is now ticking for me to
There
patent.
you go.
all
Oh yeah,
these,
now
so
you're
no
gonna
one
get
can take
email
them.
after email. Hey, is this done yet?
Exactly.
Is it done yet?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's never done. In 2.5 years, I've put out 14 models, and some of those were 5 at a time. So you know that it's not done yet.
Yeah.
So the other one that I can show off is, again, this is going to take a while to be finished, but I wanted to kind of do a new generation, getting into some more humanoid forms. Going beyond dummy, which like kind of splits the difference between boxy and anatomical. So next up is going to be Anna the artist model. Anna is short for anatomy. There might also be a Tommy, so we have anatomy.
Okay. Yeah.
But basically, still building on a system, a very posable model. Great flexibility. I'm holding her by her head. But maybe a system that you can kind of take to the next level and like go beyond just sleeves around a skeleton. And boy, this is great camera work on my part. But yeah, basically taking things to the next level, seeing what you can do with that, and like again providing a platform for more and more development on top of that.
Now we did have a community member submit a commercial, which actually was in the commercials, that it is stop motion with Dummy 13. I'm surprised I have not seen more like projects of somebody doing like a full on action scene or spoof of a movie. But anybody out there that's got the time, I challenge you. I think it'd be really awesome just to see a whole scene rather than just a short commercial, a whole scene of things.
Mm-hmm. I've seen a little bit. What's interesting is that, so I do this stuff. I put it on printables. It's free. Some stuff down the road might be paid, but it's free. Dummy 13 will always be free. Everything that's currently free will always be free. Always be on that Creative Commons license.
Awesome.
Some people have taken, if you put something on the web and it's popular, it's going to go places, and it's going to go into people's Shopify stores, and those people aren't always going to give you credit, and they might make annoying TikTok ads and market them to kids, and so on. That's fine. I'm not going to dwell on that.
Not as if this has ever happened before.
No, it's never happened. I'm the first one to experience this. But so kind of the effect of that is like there's this whole other community that I'm not involved in that knows about Dummy 13, but knows about it as other names that people gave it.
Yeah.
So they've been doing stop motion, and like they've been doing some kind of good stop motion. And I'm like, that's really cool. I'd like you to know that I made it and that you
just
could
give me some
download
credit.
it. That's really cool that you're doing that.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is you have to be able to get ahead of it.
Yeah. I actually have, my girlfriend is like yelling at me over internet that like I shouldn't be talking about this, but I actually bought some bootlegs of Dummy 13, and this is actually crazy because this has gotten so popular on like the resale market. They actually went and they redesigned everything for injection molding. This is not printed. This came off of
injection molded.
Injection molded.
Design.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, flattering, but annoying at the same time.
It is bargain basement injection molding. It is not good quality injection molding, but it was $3, and I'm like, I kind of got to get it for $3 and just see. So I mean, they're out there. People are having fun with them, and they're doing cool things with them, even if they don't know where it came from. So.
Oh yeah, like I said, awesome, but at the same time, not awesome. Like, come on, guys, like, just give me credit.
I mean,
like, I'm not asking for $1 million in my pocket. Just something.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Give me my name. Give me some credit. That's all I ask for.
Just link me or something.
Attribution. Yeah.
I'm not looking to outsell you or undercut you. Like, do what you do.
Just let people know.
Yeah. Let's see here. We'll move real quick because I know we're getting a little bit later here, but I'll run to some rapid fire questions. Just a short answer is easy enough. First one we always ask everybody: what is your favorite filament? Not necessarily brand, but like color or surface finish.
So my desert island filament would be Prusament Galaxy Black ASA. Great finish. It looks like so professional. It's basically how I sold my machine shop boss on letting me actually print things instead of making stuff out of metal, because it has like that really professional like granite like finish. And it's ASA, so it's like super strong and perfect for this kind of
everything
stuff.
else.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, and then this might be an easy one, but maybe it won't be. What is the print that you've done that you're the most proud of?
The print that I've done that I'm most proud of. I mean, it's an easy answer. It's Dummy. Like I really put a lot of engineering into this. I'm very proud of this work, and I'm happy that resonated with people. But I'm really proud of what I put into this. It's not really favorite print; it's favorite design. But that's what I do.
Nope, should be. Let's see here. And then speaking of the Dummy 13, what has been your by far favorite remix or character that's been made from the Dummy 13?
Ooh, okay. There's so many, it's tough to pick. I'd say like off the top of my head, the one that I think actually won the printables contest for jointed figures was the Night remix. It's by, I want to say the user is named like Martin on printables, but yeah, I printed that out. That was like so cool. It was so well done. Everything was like so well modeled and so clean. They give you the 3MF that's like already pre-supported where it needs to be supported. That was like really well done. I was very happy about that. Yeah.
Awesome. And then next one is: did you help design Tesla's new Optimus robot, or did they steal your design?
I think they might be another group that's flattering me with their invitation, but I was not part of that process.
Now you just get a cut of that, right? Just give me 5%.
Yeah, you just have to check.
There you go. And last but not least, what is the best posable and fully customizable 3D printable figure out right now?
This Dummy 13.
There
Obviously.
You go. easy answer. I like to do a softball pitch the last one.
Yeah.
But that's all we have for the show today. Is there anything? Of course, we talked about some projects, but website, socials. Where can people find you?
Yeah. So let me do my quick plugs. Yeah, if you want to print Dummy 13 or any of my other existing models, go to lucky13toys.com. It's on the screen right now. Go to that website. That'll point you towards all my stuff. Do that. Completely unrelated. If you want to play a fun, spooky video game for spooky season, you can play one that I worked on and one that I helped playtest.
Awesome.
Go on Steam, look up Mortal Meal. It's a super fun, like retro PS1 adventure game, and look up Clean Suit, which is a retro text adventure game. Super fun games. I'm really happy with how they turned out. Go play those. Third and last, if you live in the United States, go vote. That's it.
There you go. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. Like I said, it was fun talking to you for a short time in 3D Printopia. So really happy that we could get you on the show, learn more about you, and learn a little bit more in-depth story about Dummy 13, and I am looking forward to what else you create. Not just the new iteration of Dummy 13. Super excited about Big Dummy. But everything else, I wish you the best of luck and much success, more than you already have. And I hope to see you around in the next rep rap.
Thanks so much. It was great to be here.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
And that's another one in the books. I know a little bit later than normal. I'd like to hear about people, and especially when they're passionate about things. It's easy to get involved in the conversation. So Dummy 13 is just an awesome creation. Obviously, he's got more models than that, more stuff coming. I've always loved it from the point of printing the first Dummy 13. I always had the idea of going big with it. Really excited about going even bigger with it. So I think I might know a place I can get some filament. So we'll definitely have one of those printed up and posable and all the cool superhero poses. But if you have not yet, right now, type in I am awesome. I'll try to speed through this because you guys have hung out long, and I appreciate you guys being here as I do every week. You guys showing up, bring new people with you is even more awesome, but not required. So I am awesome, and in the chat right now, and that'll give you a chance to get us a free spool of filament. A couple things to announce. Our Discord has reached over 9,000 members. It's now 9,032. I cheated. I have it up. It's 9,032 members. You guys are awesome. It's you guys that make the community more approachable. And then for those that do approach it and come join, it's you guys that make it worth staying. We're a filament company. We like to sponsor things and all that. That's nice and dandy. But really, that Discord thing is a community thing, and without you guys that are in here watching every week, or in the hangouts, or sharing prints, whether you're quiet in the shadows and just watching, maybe messaging here or there if there's something you can help out with, you're all awesome. I really do appreciate that. We're going for 10K. Can we hit 10K by the end of the year? I think we can. So invite your friends and family. The seasons are coming up where there's going to be a lot of new printers, new people to printing. So invite them on over, bring them in. They can win some filament. There's some cool giveaways we have now and every now and then, some different things. Always new things that we're thinking up of and trying to make more exciting. So come on in if you're not already there. Discord.polymaker.com. And other than that, we also have many other projects. A couple of those are Polymaker figurines, led by Anchois Dimensions. Every 2 days, you get a new Pokemon on video through Instagram, TikTok, and all the socials. And that model then becomes available once that video is released, and that's a multicolor option print, and that is going to be on Maker World. But again, Polymaker _figurines across the board. We also have Polymaker Education, that's led by Creatrix Britt, and she is showcasing educational stuff, things that teach young, old, everything in between, different things, different world things, motor functions, etc. So those models, it's the same setup as the Polymaker figurines. As those videos come available, those prints then or models become available for you to print for free. And that again is going to be Polymaker _education, and that is going to be available on Maker World for the models themselves. Go make sure to follow that if you want to see some really cool educational. There's more put into it than what I make it sound like okay, cool. There's a lot of research done into it that Britt puts in there. So just a lot of cool information, some fun prints, and really again, whether you're teaching, you're babysitting, you have kids of your own, anything, there's kind of something for everybody. So definitely go there. And then last but not least, we do have our Polymaker show in printing color presented by Pezliz. That's at twitch.tv/Pezliz. And that is live every Wednesday. Last night, she actually had on the Kit Kiln, another modeler. So discussing models and everything else, and of course discussing color. There's a lot of stuff that's always coming from Polymaker that's coming out that she can't talk about, that eventually she can talk about, etc. So always something there to watch, and she's just got good energy and just a lovely lady. So make sure if you're not following us on any of those, go check them out. See if you like them. If you do, like them across the board. Comment if you have any fun comments to make, nice ones. Keep it nice, or I'll come after you. But again, just appreciate everybody's support. I appreciate everybody that comes here and listens to me ramble on for an hour and 16 minutes on a Thursday. And we are here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time But let's move real quick to the giveaway and why that's getting ready. I want to give everybody a chance to enter in one last time while I find out who is live, because we will raid out to someone who is in the Twitch world, because YouTube doesn't do raids, whatever. We haven't done a raid in the last couple since they've been pre-recorded, so let's see here. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Apologize. Unprofessional. I think should be shut off during a show. Looks like we have our tried and true Digital Dragon 72. And he is way smarter than I am when it comes to 3D printing and building 3D printers. So definitely, if you want to know some technical stuff, I think he's building 2.4 in the Box Turtle, which for those that don't know is like an AMS system that he had working at 3D Printopia. So eventually, I say it every time, eventually I'll go build something, but I haven't got around to it yet. We will raid out to him, and I'm going to go ahead and draw with the lucky number 52. I think that has something to do with Marvel, I remember, maybe. Either way, we're drawing. So let's see who wins the spool of filament today. The winner, just contact me at joel.fin@polymaker.com or message me, Polymaker Joel, on Discord. And Shaudel 3D, you have won a spool of filament. I think you've used Polymaker before, so you know what you're getting into. Now you just got to figure out what color. That's the hardest part because there's so many. So thank you all for coming. The raid, is it going to start soon? Maybe. I can't see the timer. Okay. But yeah, with that all said, we are going to raid out. Thank you guys again for coming. Hope to see you here next week, again at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you guys have a good night, a good weekend, and a good week.